All right. So we want to look at the structure of writing a proposal. So from ground up, right? Or from the basics to we try and make it as advanced as possible. So this session will be very practical. So if you could get your laptops, you could get your computer ready, and then you can go alongside with me. That would be very good. And today I will not stop and ask for questions. So if you have a question, you can raise up your hand or you can type in the chat box or alert me because I know this class is very shy of asking questions. So today I will not decide to ask questions again if there are any questions. Okay. So now I will share my screen. Before we start, any questions? I know I just said that, no questions. Anyone have any
No
particular?
questions yet.
All right, good.
Oh, please, Mr. Bruce.
Yes, Madam Princess, go ahead if you have any
I
questions.
just wanted to ask if you're going to be recording this.
Yes, I am recording to be available
Okay.
after the.
All right, all right.
Okay. Okay. So, yes, please confirm if you see my Word. Today I'll be using Word because we'll be typing a lot and as much as possible also. If you also have a Word version, you can also open yours and then we type. I hope you can see my Word document. Can you see my Word document?
Do it.
All right, okay. So for a research proposal, this will double for a research proposal. Those of us who are going to apply for a new stage of their study, so you are doing masters, you want to apply for a PhD, this works for you. You are also doing your masters or PhD, you want to write a thesis. So at some point, you can tweak this into your thesis. So it works hand in hand. For a paper also, you can adapt it to writing a paper or article. And for those already in industry or those who are already into academia, you are writing a proposal for money. Okay, this also works. So basically it works in 4 ways. If you are writing a thesis, it works for you. If you are writing a research proposal to a university or to a supervisor, it works for you. If you are writing for a paper, it also works for you. And then the last part is if you are writing for a grant, it also works for you. But before that, I'll do a little bit of a background so that everyone can understand a little bit of what must be done for any academic writing in terms of thesis, paper, and all that. Okay. So I'll share my whiteboard. Okay, so before you choose a topic, usually it has to be accepted by a supervisor if you are an independent researcher, right? Or if you are in an industry, it has to be endorsed by someone. So always the topic must be endorsed by something or by someone, right? So it can either come from, the grants. Maybe you saw a grant advert, or in this case, maybe your supervisor gave you a certain topic, or wherever you got the topic from, or in this case, maybe another case, you don't even know where to get the topic from, but you are supposed to either graduate for a master or a PhD, right? What I'll say is whatever topic that you choose, it must have some funding, okay? It must have some funding or a potential source of funding. So if your supervisor has 4 different areas and you check in the last 1 or 2 years and he or she has not published in that particular area, it should give you a red flag. Perhaps there's no longer funding in that area or he or she is not interested. So if you are developing the topic in that area, you should ask him or her, why have you not done this topic in a while? Okay, so every topic that we decide to choose should be backed by funding because every research, no matter how basic it is, there's some resource that is needed. If not directly money, other forms of money, right? For example, time, or for example, you need some material, you need some resources, you need some data. Okay, so whatever topic you choose, make sure that you have enough funding for it. If not you directly, your team or whoever is supervising you has enough funding to support that. I hope this one is clear. So the choice of a topic is not because you feel like you want to do the topic. Make sure that it's supported with funding. Yeah, sometimes you want to go out there to solve problems, but we realize that you get stuck halfway of the project because you didn't have funding. And that's not a good sign of a researcher. No matter how ambitious you are, you should think ahead and know that at one point in time, I'll need funding to do the work. So although there are other criteria necessary for choosing a topic, the main or number one criteria is, do you have funding? Do you have support? Do you have a network that can make this topic fruitful? So before I go on any question for the topic, the choosing of the topic, I'll not want to go deep into that because we are all coming from different backgrounds. But for this particular session, I'll use one topic that I have from someone who is working currently on his thesis. So I'll use that as a structure to do this. But aside that, it works for all of us. But I hope that everyone here at least should have a topic or an idea of the topic. So we've had previous sessions where we look at other parts of the research. So topic is not something I want to talk about today. So I'll assume we all have. But aside that, does anyone have a question on topic selection? Maybe I can just answer that and then we move on. Anybody have a question on topic selection? Or we all have? If we all have, then I move on to the next stage.
No question.
Okay. All right. So now we have a topic that has been given to us, right? The next thing we need to do is, so after the topic, the next stage is what? What do we do after you have a topic? Anyone can unmute and talk. Let's try and make it a bit interactive. You have a topic. What's the next thing you do as a researcher?
So after having your topic, I think you have to deliberate on understanding what you want to do. So maybe bringing out your variables and then both the dependent and then the independent variables, and then you look for data on it first before you start the main work.
Okay. So that's a good answer. Anyone else have a suggestion or an answer to? After you have the topic, that is what you have. Okay. Yes, someone is speaking. I can't
I
see
think
the people
one of
talking.
my front camera is not, yeah.
No,
So
no problem, no problem. Go ahead.
after you get the topic, you have your topic, you should try to find out if like it's feasible,
Good.
because you could have a very great nice sounding topic, but it might not be doable.
Yes.
For instance, let's say I'm a Ghanaian. Now I want to do a comparative study of something. That would require me to get data from maybe South Africa
Yeah.
and Uganda. I don't know anyone in these places. And so even though the topic is even doable, but within my means, I cannot be able to achieve it. So that's
Yes.
like one of the things you
Good.
should consider after you
Good. Good. All right.
conclude on your
Yeah.
topic.
So actually in getting a topic, what you need to do is to get a series of topics. So let's say you have 5 different topics. And then I think maybe because of what the lady just said, I'll have to talk about what should be a topic. Because once you choose a topic, you cannot change it. Once you settle on a topic, you cannot change it. If you find yourself changing your topic more than once, it cannot be changed. So you should not have the option to even try to change it. People say that, oh, halfway I realized I had to edit my topic. No. You are doing it wrong. So before you select on even that particular topic, like she said, the topic should be feasible, right? Okay, so let me just type. The topic should be feasible. Aside feasibility, what else do you think we can use in determining the topic? So I said funding, right? Funding is one of them, the major one. Yes, anyone? The feasibility of the topic. You can do it. You feel you can do it. If you are given all the resources in the world, you feel that you can take us to Mars. Yes, that's feasibility. Once funding is there, what else do you think will help us to select a topic? Okay, so back to the silence again. So let's say that the feasibility and funding, everything checks, we can do this topic. What's the next step? Anyone? So we all have topics, but we don't know the next step. Is that the case? We've chosen the topic, it's feasible, we can do it. Your supervisor has given you the money, you have the lab, you have all the grants, you've won everything, you can do this topic once you have all the resources. What's the next step? Let's look at it in terms of a PhD or a master's student. I think most of us here on this call are in that category. You've chosen the topic, you have it some way, somehow. You have it, you feel it's feasible, and if given the chance, with all the money you're asking for, with all the resources you're asking for, we can execute it. What is the next step? Because the topic is not the project. The topic is just the title of the project. So what next should we do? There are people here on this call that I have discussed this with, so please, let's just speak up and let's make it faster. For those who have not, I'm just going to, because there are people here who have not had that opportunity yet. So you have the topic, what's the next step?
Yes, sorry. Sorry. Is it a literature review? Is that the next step to go?
Literature review is very far from here. We are not there yet.
Mr. Bruce,
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm correct, but is it, I now have to like find my questions, like the research questions that I'm going to tackle in the topic I've chosen?
Yes, yes. Okay. So after you find the topic, I know this is a 21st century generation. So after you find the topic, sorry, you have to do some hashtagging. Okay, what I call hashtagging. What do I mean by hashtagging? Just find your keywords for the topic. So from the topic, you find the keywords, or from the keywords, you find the topic. Both work. Okay. From the keywords, you find the topic. So I'll give a practical example. When I was starting my postgraduate, after reaching out to a supervisor, the first thing she gave me was not the topic, but gave me keywords that I can use to find the literature. So yes, the one who spoke before the one who just spoke, there are two ladies who spoke, right? The first lady said the literature, but in trying to find the literature, there are things you need to use. So one of them is the keyword, right? So let's say your next step is the keywords, because we want to find some literature, right? Okay, but before that, we have to go through a little bit of processes before. Keywords is one, and like the other lady also said, questions. All right, in trying to find the literature, what else can I use to find the literature apart from keywords and questions? Anyone? I have a topic. I want to go to space, or the journey to Mars. That's my topic. My keywords are my hashtags. So let's say Mars, journey, space travel, what, feasibility, whatever. Those are my keywords. Then I can ask some questions. We'll come to that. But before that, keywords, questions, what else can I use to find the literature? Does anyone have some ideas? Else you end up finding literature that you don't even want or may not have enough time to read. You need something to control the literature search. If that is not controlled at this stage, you end up looking for downloading a lot of papers, but nothing there is for you. So aside keywords, aside questions, what else can I use to find a paper? Anyone? Those typing, unfortunately, I cannot open the chat whilst I'm presenting. So maybe somebody can do me the honors of reading the answers or whatever comments is in the chat box. Okay, so keywords, since no one is talking, let's talk about keywords. Okay, so I just got a message. Perhaps people are here who don't know it, so let me just teach and later we ask the question. So sorry about that. I wanted to make it one-on-one interactive. Okay, so we can use keywords and questions. After you have the topic, the next stage is to develop the keywords, right? So I'll use my friend's topic because if I should ask for questions, topic now, people will not give me. So I've already decided to reach out to someone who will be available to give me the topic. If it doesn't apply to you, then sorry. If it's not within your field, but if it's within your field, then it's okay. So the topic is quite long, but I'll type them on the screen. So it says energy efficient, adaptive. Like, I wonder how people get these topics. Scheduling for mobile charges in wireless. I'm even tired of typing already. Rechargeable sensor networks using artificial bee colony and firefly algorithms. Okay. Bees is also so now I'm wondering if I'm typing an abstract or it's a topic. So your topic should be as detailed as possible. However, it should not be as long as it is. So in our previous sessions, we already discussed it. At least there's a number of words that you should use. This has more than, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 15 or 16. It's too long. It's too long. And you find that a lot of people from the business field have this problem because they want to show that they are using a certain everything. If you read a title, it's end of story. You don't need to read the whole paper again because everything is there. The methodology reference, everything is in the title. So yes, I don't want to treat topic today because we've done it before. So the title or the topic that is here, let's assume that this is what I want to use, but I will not do this. Okay, there was a hand. You can go ahead. Someone raised the hand. Hello, who raised your hand? You can go ahead and speak, please. Okay, so maybe it was a mistake. Okay, so this is our topic. Can anyone help me find some hashtags, keywords? You can type it, just that I will not see. What keywords can we find from this topic? For example, this is the topic that your supervisor has given you. What keywords can we find in this topic? The keywords should be such that when we go into Google or we go into any browser and we key them, it will link us to relevant papers that this topic can be related to. Okay, so keywords, anyone? Anybody? Okay, energy, efficiency, something like this. Keywords should be between 5 and 6. Someone is speaking.
Mobile chargers.
Mobile chargers.
For you.
Mobile chargers, yes. Come again. There's somebody who spoke also.
Wireless, rechargeable, and
Wireless,
someone also wrote network.
wireless rechargeable. Okay. Network. Okay. So there are some, in doing your keywords, you should also know that there are some words that you can find it in so many places. If you say network, it can be in mathematics. Network could be in biology. Network could be in telecommunications. So when you are giving the keywords, make sure that it's customized to your field. Okay, so if you just write networks, network, is it about relationship? Is it about partnership? It's all a network. Okay, so in as much as we are doing the keywords, I know it's just a hashtag, but try to customize it to your field so that if someone types network, something should be added to that network. So we know that, okay, it's from computer science, or okay, it's from this particular. I don't know if you get it. Because here you can see things like B. So if the person says hashtag B, are you talking about biology or now it's computer science? So if you come across a generic term that is used in more than one field, try and customize it, like maybe a compound word so that it's easy for the Google or whatever engine to pick it up. Okay, so let's try and correct the networks. We can make it better, can we? What can we say instead of networks? Networks is okay, but let's make it better so that we get good papers. Good being that it is what we want.
Rechargeable sensor network.
Rechargeable sensor network. Okay. Yes, that is true. Rechargeable sensor network. Yeah, this makes more sense than just saying network, right? Good. Or you can say sensor network. Okay, so we want 5 or 6 words, so let's keep going. Yes, one way you can do it, just look at the title and just be breaking down the words from the title. However, you did a study or you have an ambition of the study, you can put a keyword that is not even in the title. So if it's energy efficient adaptive scheduling for mobile chargers in wireless rechargeable sensor networks using artificial bee colony and firefly algorithms. So in this, from my little knowledge, I've seen algorithms, so I can say maybe machine learning, or I can say hashtag AI, because I know that something in here would fall under machine learning or could fall under AI, right? Bee fly algorithm. Yes, that is, it's very specific. So when you Google bee fly algorithm, it will come up. And then we also have bee colony algorithm. Yes. So things like this, you could get the keyword from the title. That's good. However, you could go a step further and then link the whole work, maybe use some particular method, and then you can hashtag that method. For example, like what the guy said, bee fly algorithm, or you can say machine learning, or you can say AI, or you can say charging systems, or you can say energy efficiency, although it's there. But what I'm just saying is, if you want to fine tune your keywords, you can also look at the whole work as a whole, sorry, and then you use words that can describe them. I hope maybe that is very clear. Okay. Now, you have the topic, you have the keywords. We can now go to literature review or literature search. However, there's something also that we need to do, and that's more efficient to do than the keywords. Keywords can help you, but once you put in things like machine learning, now everybody is doing machine learning. Almost every field is doing machine learning. Okay, so if you hashtag machine learning, the things that will come up, you'll be overwhelmed. So keywords is one way of looking for literature, but I want to introduce another way today, okay, that it's quite challenging to do, but when you do it, you will laugh at the end, right? It's more beneficial to use that approach, which is a questioning. Okay, so I'll decide to ask some questions about this topic. Let's say you are a newbie, you have no idea about this, right? So let's go to our famous ChatGPT and ask him or her. I don't know whether it's a he, a she, or a it. So let's go to ChatGPT and ask the questions, or what questions can I ask concerning this topic? In social science, you sometimes can use your methodology like quantitative. Yes, that's true. That's true. Yes, you can use the technology or the methodology that you are using for the work in the keywords. So keywords is one way, and it's good to use keywords. However, I want us to go a step further to fine-tune our work. So let's go to ChatGPT. Let's say you don't know anything about the field, so just ask ChatGPT. But if you know something about the field, of course, you can ask some questions. Okay, so let's say we all don't know anything about this field. Before we go to ChatGPT, what questions do you think we can ask concerning this topic? Any question is a good question. Please feel free and talk. I prefer talking today because I'm not working on multiple screens. Just looking at the topic, what question would you ask? As a lay person, you don't have anything to do with computer science. What questions will come to your mind concerning this topic?
Hello, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'll try to first understand the problem I'm trying to solve.
Okay. So how would you frame that question?
I'll start with explain this topic to me, what it is.
Explain this topic to me. Okay. Okay, that's a very good question. Any other one? Any other question anyone wants to talk about? Just looking at this long string of words, what comes into your mind? Any question? Don't think as a researcher. Think as a layperson who has never gone to school. You can just read or write, and you see this long string of sentences. What will come to your mind, or what are some of the questions that you want to ask? No background in computer science. The topic is from computer science, so no background in computer science. Just ask any question. I'll record all of them. Questions. What questions can you ask based on the topic?
I would ask, what is energy efficient adaptive scheduling?
What is energy adaptive scaling? Good. Any other one? More questions. We should get like
Energy
20.
efficient.
Energy efficiency. Okay. So, efficiency. Efficient adaptive scaling. Good. I got it. Yeah. More questions. We should have so many questions. Just looking at, there are 19 people on the call, so I should get at least 18, including myself. So I don't want to.
Hello, I would ask.
Good. Go ahead.
What's the meaning of bees fly algorithm?
What is the meaning of? I didn't get the last part.
Bees fly.
Okay, bees fly algorithm, right? All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, explain.
I think we lost her there. What is the adaptive scheduling for? Good. What is the adaptive? Oh, forget my typos. Okay, what is the adaptive scheduling for mobile charges? Okay. Are there any other key fields where any of the keywords have been applied? Are there any other fields? Okay. This is a very, very, this is not a layman's question. This is a researcher's question. Yeah, but it's a very good question. I'll comment on why I'm saying it's a very good question. Are there any other fields where any of the keywords have been applied? Yeah, more questions. I think after 10 now. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I would also ask, how do the mobile chargers work within the wireless network, and
How
why
do
do we need them?
mobile charges work within the mobile what? Wireless network, right?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Wireless
Wireless,
network,
yeah, the wireless sensor,
wireless
and why
sensor
do we
network.
even need them?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe we can also how best can we reframe this topic?
How best can we rephrase, right? This topic or reframe. I just want to use the exact words to use. Reframe or rephrase, I think. All works. Like those. Okay, 8. There's one in the chat that says that what is the relation? What is the relation between rechargeable? Sheldon, are you a business student? I think it's a business student who always asks relation between something. Between mobile charges and wireless rechargeable sensor network. Okay. 2 more, then we stop. 2 more.
Okay. We can ask the artificial bee colony and the firefly, why do we need these two algorithms for? Why combine these two? The
Why
artificial bee,
combine
why, yeah, artificial,
artificial? Okay, let me just say AI. Yes. And why combine artificial intelligence and
no, artificial bee colony, this and the
sorry.
firefly, because these are two algorithms. Why both? Why only not one? Yeah.
Why the combination of okay, I
Yeah,
get you. Artificial bee colony and firefly algorithms. Why combine them? Yes, it's a very good question. Why should we combine them? Why not one? Okay,
yeah.
so I go back. One more. Final one, then we stop the questions.
What is firefly algorithms? Because we don't know too.
Yes, what is? I also don't know. Okay, I don't know for the purposes of this session. After the session, I will know. I go back to the first. What is Firefly algorithm? Yes, we all don't know. Yes, it's true. It's a very good question. Okay, so let's imagine that these are the questions that we decide to ask. Hey, then your then your thesis is going to be very, 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 very. How many varies have I used? Very challenging to write because in as much as these questions are generic, it will give you things you don't want to find. Let's be honest. Explain this topic to me. From which perspective am I explaining the topic to you? Okay, so let's go back to the title. Is it from energy standpoint? Is it from the scheduling standpoint? Is it from the charging standpoint? Is it from the wireless? So the first question is very open. Yes, I know I said that let's ask in the questions, but in asking the questions, you would have to go over and over and refine some of them. You can cross some of them. You can rephrase some of them to make it look more applicable to academic work, right? So if you say, explain this topic to me, the first question that I'll also ask you is, from which standpoint? Okay, is it from the machine learning standpoint? Is it from the algorithm standpoint? Is it from the network standpoint? Is it from the energy standpoint? Is it from, right? So we can either decide to remove this topic, okay, or rephrase it. So what I'm just trying to say is you keep asking the questions in batches, okay? So maybe you start from 100. It's a big number, but because you want to ask and cover as many areas as possible, ask a lot. Okay, so you can use a week or two just for questioning. I know people here on this call don't have time, but this is very important. This is like, if this is not done well, your research would have symptoms like this. Oh, I started the literature, I read so many papers, but I cannot find a good paper. You hear things, another symptom like, oh, my topic had to change midway. It's because you didn't do the questioning right. You hear another symptom like, oh, I'm done with the literature, but I don't know how to continue. In fact, how do you do literature review? Then you start asking those generic questions. What is a literature review? Am I doing it right? No, it's because your questioning was done wrongly or you didn't spend time with it. Just like Einstein would say, spend 90% of your time on the problem, defining the problem. And this is the part you have to define the problem. And use 10% to solve the problem. In fact, all the solutions in the world, they are already been done. All of us on this call, we are just photocopying solutions. So if you ask the right question, that's what differentiates you between a master and a PhD student, or a good master student and a bad master student, or a good PhD student and a bad PhD student. The solution is everybody can do it. Anybody can do whatever you say is novel. I can also do it. You can also do what I'm doing because the solutions are already there. Whatever you think you are developing, somebody has developed it. It's even dead and gone. Okay, the solutions don't really matter. What matters or what differentiates one research from another research is the questioning. So if this part of the work is supposed to be done by you as a researcher and you don't do it well, then the rest, you are just photocopying, you are just graduating, you are just writing another paper. So ask very good questions, refined questions that would drive the literature forward, would drive the knowledge forward. Okay, so Newton had a mango tree hit on his head. If it was from somewhere that I am from, they will say that it was a witch or a wizard that dropped that mango on his head. But he has a question. Okay, why did this mango fall down? And see where we are now. Okay, so the things, the foundations of science, the foundations of knowledge is already there. There's nothing you know that has not been done before. But if you ask a question from a different perspective, that's all your novelty. So for people who have struggles with novelty, it's because you are not asking the good questions. For people who have struggled with, I cannot see the literature, it's because you didn't ask the good question. So for me, questioning stage, which a lot of us don't spend time on, is the research. You could have your own viewpoint, sorry, but that's what I'm saying here. I've seen it over and over again. People don't even know that you're supposed to ask questions. They've done the research. I have my keywords. I have everything. I ask them, what's your research question? And they're like, what is that? Am I supposed to ask research questions? Then I say, okay, I'm not reading your literature review because you have answers to questions that are not existent. Because the literature review is an answer to each and every question you ask concerning the research. So if you have answers and there are no questions, then what are you doing? You are just wasting your own time. You've wasted your own 2 years or 4 years or whatever time you use for the project. You just wasted your time. And then they'll be like, okay, I have so many papers I've read. Let me write a literature review. That's even worse. You are wounding yourself more. Because even for a literature review, you have to ask questions that drive that literature. If you don't have a question, you have no business downloading a paper. Because whatever paper you click on should be targeted to each question here on this slide. So you have your topic. You can use keywords, yes, to find the papers. That's one way. But you will come back to the same point where you get confused because, like I said, if you Google or you hashtag just algorithm, the things you download, 99% are garbage because they don't apply to your topic. Because algorithm is everywhere. So in the algorithm, you have to ask a question that you are looking for the answer in literature. So let me not go ahead of myself. Explain this topic to me is not a good question because no matter how I explain it, it can't be explained. It's as simple as that. You have to give me a certain niche of explanation you want. Do you want it from a financial standpoint? Then I can answer you. So you say, explain this topic from the standpoint or from the perspective of whatever. Okay, so that would be a better way to ask this question. What is energy efficient adaptive scheduling? If you don't know it, why are you using it in the topic? Why are you using that term in the topic? I know it's to a general audience here, but we are looking at it from the standpoint of the person who gave us the topic, right? You've used words you don't understand. So this question must not be asked. Because if you don't know what energy efficient adaptive scheduling is, then don't use it in your topic.
What if your supervisor just gave you the topic, so you are also trying to learn now before you begin?
Good. That's always the case. Let me say, that's always the case. It's true. They always give you the topic because they know those words. But to you, you don't know. So yes, it's a good question to ask, but should not be on the page. You could do it like your private work, like as you say, your rough work. You just show your final answer. Your final answer, I mean, after you do all the rephrasing and everything, such a question should not make it to the finalist, right? There's a part of your research where you don't know anything. Yes, I agree. You can use this question to find more things, find some literature to read, right? And that will give you some papers that give you the basis of the energy efficient adaptive scheduling. But this could easily be a Google search. And then you know what energy adaptive scheduling is. You don't need a paper necessarily because it's a general topic. It's a general concept. So for general concepts, you don't really need to ask questions about it. You could know about it from other ways, or you could just download a paper or two just to support or to get an understanding of it. Like you're just reading to know what the whole system is about. But it should not make it to your final list of research questions, because the research is not about energy adaptive scheduling. It's not to teach you how to do it. You are using it, so we assume you know, or the research assumes that you have a knowledge. So even though you can ask this question at the beginning stages, to do the research, you are applying it, so we assume you already know. So a question like this is generic, can be asked at a certain stage, but should not make it to the finalist. Okay. What is the meaning of... Go ahead.
Do you kind of explain what it is in your review, so that maybe if someone who wants to read your paper but it's also not like from your field knows what it is?
That's a little bit dicey. If it's a paper, not necessarily you have to define it, but if it's a thesis or like a normal proposal, yes, you can. But even in definition of this, you don't make it generic. You make it in such a way that you yourself have recustomized the definition to apply to you. So here, what you say is, what is energy adaptive scheduling from my point? Okay, you've read so many papers, everybody's defining the energy adaptive scheduling. But if you want to ask this particular question, then you have to define the energy adaptive scheduling in your own words. How do you understand it after all the reading? That's what should be here. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes,
So I
Professor,
asked, who is a Chinese? Okay, somebody will say Chinese is a short person. That's the definition. You read another paper. Chinese is a yellow person. Okay, that's another paper. Chinese is someone who does Kung Fu. That's another paper. Chinese is someone who speaks Chinese. That's another paper. Now I ask you, what is Chinese, or who is a Chinese? You have to combine all this and say, okay, a Chinese person is someone who is short, yellow in color. So you're adding your own words. And then they say they all speak Chinese. The Chinese language can be Mandarin or Cantonese, you see. So you've asked the same question, but because you have read, now you are defining it as Chinese is blah, 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 blah. And that definition cannot be found anywhere. It cannot be found anywhere except it's you. If we read any other paper, we'll find bits and pieces spread across, but that whole definition of who a Chinese is only up to you as a researcher, and that's novelty. Even in defining the term, you've brought novelty. just by the definition of the term. If you stand before any panel, they'll be like, Because if there are 5 people on the panel, maybe one side knows that Chinese people are all yellow. Another side knows that Chinese people are short. So when you say you be like, it's true, I've never thought of it this way. It's novelty, but it's just a definition of a topic. It's not novelty, but it is novelty because even in the term itself, you have defined something new.
Okay, thank
If you
you.
want to go in this direction of definition, this is how you go about it. Don't just quote what people have said according to this. No, make it your own, and then now you can look at definitions. But definition is not really a good research question to ask. But if you want to do this, perhaps there's so many confusion in the literature concerning the definition of the term, then you can look at it as a novelty. And anybody else after you would cite your work as this guy defined this term of Chinese very well, that the whole world, we are now using the standard of a definition of a Chinese man. Okay. What is adaptive scheduling for mobile? It's the same thing. Same thing. The what, the how, the where, the why, those kind of questions. Let's move away from it. Let's move away from it. We can ask it at the beginning station, but what, where, why? No. Let's not do that. In our final stage, how do you do this? You can just get it from a Google search. So as a researcher, let's move away from that. The what, where, why, how, who, which one again? I've forgotten one, but whatever that kind of structure you have learned before, yes, it works. But at the beginning stages, you have to do a second refining of that question. That's what, where, why, there. You have to refine it. Okay. Are there any other fields where the keywords have been applied? And the reason why I like this question is what we call interdisciplinary research. Interdisciplinary research. What does it mean? So I'm a computer scientist. I am for this particular topic we are doing. And then I want to borrow the idea from mathematics, borrow the idea from biology, borrow another idea from, let's say, business field. Okay. So because you want to do interdisciplinary research, you try to look out for how can I use this other term or get a concept from one field and apply it to me, right? And you do this kind of research, especially when you look to the literature and you are like, nobody has done anything here. Okay, so when you are in that field, like you are in that particular field where it's growing, maybe the last 5 years is when it came up. Of course, you not find so many papers. So what you can do to solve such a problem when you don't have enough papers that are really good to your work is you have to go interdisciplinary and try and borrow a concept from one field to another. That's the only way. And once you go wide, you can get other references to support the work. So for this guy, he has energy inside, he has AI inside, he has biology, bee colony. So you see, they borrow the concept from how bees organize their colony, right? And they are using, and how fireflies also. So I can also say, according to the cockroach colony algorithm, is mine research. Because maybe as I was writing the topic, I saw a cockroach pass by and I think, okay, the cockroach behaves in a specific way that I can use in this research. Or mosquito, mosquito algorithm. So maybe I'm doing some sound. I want something that about noise reduction. I can say according to the mosquito buzzing sound algorithm. So how do mosquitoes make noise? It's in all that. How can I reduce the noise? Kind of things around us always inspire research. Okay, no matter which field you are. So also when you are moving about, don't be looking on the screen and typing always. Look around you. The solutions are there. Always, they are there. If only you watch. Okay, so you do interdisciplinary research when you don't have a lot of papers. You do interdisciplinary research when you want to be the first. I'm repeating again. You do that kind of research when you don't have a lot of references in that field. Perhaps the field is now growing, which, like China, they always want to be the first. They always want to be the edge on something, right? Before even maybe God does it or another country does it. So you have such situations, unless your research is quite old and we are applying it to the African continents. Like we are always backdating. We are copying from China and backdating to Africa, which is not good. We should always, is it for dating? Yeah, but if you are on the edge of new research, you have such problems where you Google the thing and no paper comes up. So you have to do interdisciplinary research. From which field can I borrow another concept to apply to this, right? So this is why I'm saying this particular number 5 question is very important. And sometimes you have to just do this to solve your work. Okay. Okay, I'll not answer because the how, why, I don't want to go there. How best can we rephrase this topic? It should not appear here. It should not appear at all. So it means you yourself, you are doubting the topic. But I hate, anyone who has worked with me know that I hate long topics. I hate, it's too, like I lose interest after the second line. So if you type on the Word document and you go more than 3 lines, know that Mr. Bruce will not be happy with you. So start deleting some of the words. Okay, it's not good. It's not good to have so much content in the topic. Then what you are just telling me is no need to read the work. Just read my topic and you know everything I did. And that's what this kind of topic is suffering from. Even though we still don't know a lot of things, but too many words. Too many words. Okay, so how best can we phrase a topic? Do it behind the scenes. Don't put it here. What's the relation between mobile chargers and wireless? Good. So somebody will say the double relation, the triple relation, the 4 relation. This is a very good way of also asking questions. And that's why I was asking the person is a business person or not. So you can go back to the keywords and try a variable relation. Okay, so what's the relation between energy efficiency and mobile charges? Then you come back. What's the relation between energy efficiency, mobile charges, and wireless rechargeables? Like that. So you do a 2, a 3, and a 4. At least 4 is okay. Don't do more than 4. At least even 2 or 3 is okay. So you look at the relationship between the 2 of them, the 3 of them, and at most the 4 of them. So the keywords that you have, what are the relationship between each of them? If you want to go with relationships and what are the variables, what is the link, then you can first of all generate the keywords. Don't stop there. And the question you can ask is, what is the relationship between 1 or 2 of the words? This is specifically for business students. This is your field. This is what you always do. Mediating variable, dependent variable, independent variable. We are tired, please. All your papers are the same. We are tired. But yes, this is it, okay? If you want to be an expert in it, then generate good keywords so that when you start doing the relationship, the link, they are married. It's okay. The relationship is they are married. Please stop asking those questions. But yes, for business students, this is what you guys do and it's good. Then your keywords should be very good. And then you can ask the double, triple, and then the fourple, as some of you say, like the quadruple. Yeah. So you have 5 keywords. What's the relationship between each and every one of them? If you don't know the relationship, go to ChatGPT and ask, because I know people on this call like ChatGPT. I hate ChatGPT. I'm saying it here on record. I hate it because people are misusing the thing. People are not trained to use ChatGPT, but they want to use it. I hate it because people are misusing the thing because they don't know how to use it. Okay, we don't do research with ChatGPT. It's bad. It's wrong. It's criminal. Let me put it that way. It's criminal to use ChatGPT for research. Anyone on this call, don't raise up your hand to ask me why. But because you don't know how to do it. You don't know the logic behind the ChatGPT, and we are misusing it for research. It's wrong. Let's stop doing it. There are things ChatGPT can do. You cannot tell me put a child in a car and let him drive. That's what we are all doing. We are driving our research with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just a baby. It's just a baby, not even 1 month, year old, according to his thinking. And we are giving it things like, give me the relationship between, how does he know? Okay, so I'm a bit temperamental on this one because I've seen it done wrongly. And if you give me a ChatGPT work, I will know. I will know. I will know. I'm not a wizard, but I will know because it follows a rule. Children say ba, ba, ma, ma. So if I hear ba, ba, ma, ma on your screen, or I see Baba kind of words in your thesis, I will know. I don't need to be a geek to know this. Okay, so let's wait for ChatGPT to grow, please. Let's not abuse this young boy or girl. ChatGPT has its role. AI has its role. Large language modeling has its role. It's not there yet. Okay, so let's be good researchers that think and don't allow babies to think for us. Okay, so how best can we rephrase this topic? Yes, this is how we can rephrase it, by finding better keywords, and then you can get a better topic. Why combine one? Yeah, it's just the relationship. What is Firefly algorithm? Goes back. So out of this, I can only see 2 questions out of 10. And that's what we as researchers should build. This skill is not taught anywhere. I have done over 10 years. That's why I can easily look through this. And if I'm your supervisor, I'll tell you, go back. You have only 2 questions. Go back and get me more. Not that I'm depressing you, but you are not doing the good work. Okay, and I've told you why. I'm sure now you can do. So let's generate a lot of questions. Even if you meet an IE on the road, ask her this question. If possible, translate it to Chinese, ask her, what do you think about this? Because to shock you where you can get a good research question from. Sometimes out of the ignorance, you get novelty. But in the novelty, please tailor it well. Okay, don't ask very generic questions, because this is the foundation of the work. If this is not done well, your research will collapse. It will. It must. It must collapse, because your foundation is very, 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 very weak. No matter how you polish the building, if like put glass building, the foundation is weak, it will come down. This is the foundation of the work. Your research questioning is very, very important. I'll pause here for 5 minutes and allow for questions, because I think here is where I need to talk a lot. I've spoken a lot, but let the questions come. Any questions? I'm here. 5 minutes. Exactly 5 minutes. I'll continue.
Please, but the way you hate ChatGPT, is it also wrong to use it to ask your research questions? Maybe you can ask it to give you maybe 5 to 10 relevant research questions based on your topic. Is that wrong?
Okay, so you have answered yourself. What are babies and children good at? If you've been around a baby or a child who is between 0 to 5 years, what are they good at? That sometimes as adults we get annoyed, or we say, this guy, what are babies good at?
Noise making.
Noise making, yes. Any other? So that's the only thing. Okay, so babies ask a lot of questions. Mommy, what is this? What is this? They ask all the questions. So yes, ChatGPT is a good tool to ask questions, to brainstorm.
Okay.
It is a good tool, 100%. I vote for it.
Okay.
But to say, write my, hey, immediately type right. Remember Mr. Bruce. Mr. Bruce is looking at you. No. Stop. But the baby can't write. It doesn't know 1, 2, 3. And then
So,
sometimes
Mr.
we get frustrated. Sorry, just to cut, sorry to cut you, but let me end what I'm just saying. Sometimes we get frustrated when you ask ChatGPT and it starts scaling off. You're like, don't you remember the first question I asked you? How will it remember? Okay, so this is a secret for those who don't know anything about large language models. Every chat you press enter, ChatGPT has forgotten the first question you asked. Immediately you press enter, it's gone. It's gone. So whatever is giving you, although it looks like is joining the first thing, it's totally different. If you ask ChatGPT 10 different questions, it feels like you have asked it 10 totally separate questions. Even though they look like it's giving you something to fill your pages, please. It's looking at the prompt per prompt differently. You ask it, okay, this is the topic. This is a topic. What are the questions? And then it gives you the questions. Then now you ask, can you give me more questions? No. You have to say it again because it has forgotten what you said. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So please, let's know how to do prompting. If you want to use ChatGPT, well, go and study a whole course about how to prompt. If you finish that and then you show your certification to me, then I can say use ChatGPT because I believe you'll be able to use it well. But please, let's not just large language models. Jenny, which one again? It's just marketing, please. If you want to use it for things like, oh, a report for your boss, it's okay. It's okay. Your boss doesn't know anything. So anything that looks good, like the words beautifully put together, it's look nice. But when it comes to good research, I always emphasize on the good research, please, no language model stuff. Aside questioning, don't bother ChatGPT. Aside outlines, aside structure, don't bother ChatGPT. Even on the paid version, you have no business saying write something for me. It can do some editing. That's good. It will remove the comments and that one, but there are other ones that can do that for you. So use the ChatGPT word. Someone was speaking, please continue.
Hello.
Hello, go
You don't
ahead.
like ChatGPT? Yeah, you said about ChatGPT, it's really bad research rather. But is ChatGPT a good judger? Can it replace supervisors and be critical to your research?
I didn't get the first part of your question. Is there?
I think if ChatGPT is bad at writing, can it at least be good critic, like give you insight and comments about your work?
Okay. So babies can see a pregnant woman and say, Mommy, why is this woman so fat? They don't censor the words. They don't censor the words. Anything a child can do and do well, no, it's the same as ChatGPT. Okay? So yes, ChatGPT can give you structure, it can give you outline, it can criticize. But in the critics, also sometimes is baseless. Why are you criticizing that thing? So now you have to teach a child, okay, now we have to teach ChatGPT that please, not anybody who has a certain mass of weight is fat. There's another baby in there. Okay, so the next time it will not say, Mommy, why is this person fat? Do you understand? So please allow the AI guys to train the model. When it's done, they'll tell us. Okay, for now, let's not give the power to it. Criticizing, it can do some. And the criticizing that it can do best is structure, ask questions. Why you didn't do this place? Yes, those ones, basic ones it can ask. But any other thing, as a researcher, please. Else you write the thing and you go and check plagiarism and you are owing. It's not 100%, it's 150. You are owing us. You've overstolen. You've overstolen from the references. You are owing. ChatGPT has a structure. All you just need is go to the back end and you see how it works and you realize, no, I can't trust this guy. So please, I know it's sad news, but let's do the right thing. So at research questioning stage, give it to ChatGPT, but also as a human being, ask the questions. I'll prefer you as a human being, ask the questions, and then you give it to ChatGPT, and then you now talk to it. Okay, can you refine this question? What do you think? Like that kind of thing, okay? I think I said 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so I'll move on. Or unless someone has a particular question on questioning. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, so let's assume we've asked all the questions. You spent over 2 years of your PhD asking only questions, and that's a good researcher. You spent half of your master's asking the good questions, and that's a good researcher. If you send me ChatGPT questions, I will know, please. If I'm in a good mood, I'll tell you, please go and do it again. If I'm not in a good mood, I'll not answer your chat. If you send me a message and within 24 hours, I don't respond, know that I'm not happy with it. I've seen it. I'm someone who always I read my messages. I've seen it, but I just don't want to say something hurtful to you because it depends on the level of research you have reached. Please don't leave the full autonomy of the questionings to ChatGPT. Let it give you ideas. Because no matter how AI would do AI, it can never beat the natural intelligence. So let it, you are new in the field, you don't know what to ask. Okay, no problem. Ask ChatGPT to give you something good and to trigger something in your mind based on what you know. Because if you've reached this stage of your life, there's something in that coconut. It's not empty. You are a very smart person. So let it give you like prompts so that you can use that to think and apply very good questions to your research. Remember, it's the foundation of your research. If you don't do this part well, you are wasting your time. Some of you say, oh, but I'm in the conclusion part of my work. Mr. Bruce, what are you saying? It's not bad. Just go back and look at the question stage and see how best you can patch your foundation. Buy more cement and put it put it at the part that can make the pillar strong of your work, okay? So you can always go back and fix things. And you realize that once you fix the question, half of your literature will be gone, but you don't need it. And you have to do the literature review again. So let's not waste time, because time is also a resource. Remember, it's funding your project. Time is it's one of the biggest funding sources of your project. So I've said enough about research. Question. Okay, so we've done our keywords, we've done our questions, and we know how and when to use them. There's another part of the story, which is hypothesis, which the business students have misconstrued and have confused everyone now because we don't know whether hypothesis is now hypothesis. But back to high school science, that says that hypothesis is a scientific guess. The basic form of a definition of hypothesis is a scientific guess, not what the business students say. You are guessing. It's an estimate. So we are trying to find something, but we think that, okay, although we are trying to find, we also think that this is what is going to happen. So aside keywords, aside questioning, we can use the hypothesis approach. So I'll delete everything on my screen now, and then we'll look at hypothesis. It is a scientific guess. And if you know what science is, it's science. Okay. So let's look at the topic again. Oh, I've deleted it. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so let me borrow this topic. We send this to the next part. Okay, so this is our topic again. Now we want to find hypothesis. Let's guess. The super bet people on the call. Those of us who like sports betting, let's use our power here. You are into betting or you like the odds. What are the odds of you winning the Barcelona will win the match today? Okay, so let's do this. We've seen the topic. We want to bet. We want to guess. What should we see about this topic? Or what can we see? What are some of the good guesses we can guess that this topic can give us some results? Nobody? Okay, so just to save time, hypothesis is just, if you don't know where to start from, asking questions is always easier. And when you finish, you can transform them into hypothesis. Okay, hypothesis is just a scientific guess. So usually it's like the question in a statement form. Okay, so instead of asking, what is adaptive scheduling? You can say adaptive scheduling is scheduling adaptively. As basic as it is. Or like someone asked, what's the relationship between A and B? You can say that there's a strong dependence on sensor network algorithms or sensor network efficiency and artificial bee colony or something like that. You have said that there's a strong dependence. Whether it's true or not, we don't know, but you are guessing from whatever knowledge you have or from just a guess, okay? So the difference between what is adaptive scheduling for mobile charges, that's question, and adaptive scheduling is an efficient way for mobile charges. This is a hypothesis. You've made a statement, you have to stick to it. Versus you are asking what it is. That's the research question. So the two can be intertwined or it can be exchanged easily. So you can use the keyword approach after you have the topic. You can use the question approach and you can use the hypothesis approach. If you are like me, you use all. Okay, you can use the keyword approach, and the keywords help us, especially when we want to do relationships. What's the relationship between this and this? The question approach also help us to get a lot of things go in our mind, and also we can make the guesses. And usually you can make a better guess if you are like more exposed in that area. If you have some knowledge in that area, then you can use the hypothesis approach. However, because questions trigger a lot of emotions, it's better to change the keywords and the hypothesis all back into questions. So even if you use the hypothesis approach in your final work, you can just change everything back to questions. So like the question, what is adaptive scheduling for mobile chargers? You can change it to, that's the hypothesis will be what adaptive scheduling is an efficient method for mobile chargers. Whatever question you have, you can change it to hypothesis. Whatever hypothesis you have, you can change it to a question. If you have a keyword, you can also change it. So everything, all the three parts, you can always bring it back into questions. And it's better to keep it in questions. Because even if you should ask Google a question, it's better than if you should give it a statement. I don't know if you understand. Both all work, right? But to trigger things, if you give the research questions to your supervisor, they may give you more input than if you give them hypothesis. If you give your research questions to your supervisor, it may give you more input than if you give them keywords, right? So all of them have their advantages and disadvantages, or where to use them and where not to use them. But you can look at your topic in these three dimensions. And when you are done, convert everything back into research questions and put them under your research question part of your work. Is that part clear? All right, so we have a topic. We've done these three brothers together, questioning, keyword, and hypothesis. Now we can go to the literature. Okay, before we go to the literature, one thing we can do after getting all the final research question is we can do this. And we have to do this because in the literature, we have to make our work very, how do you call it? Streamlined. So let's say we have question 1. Sorry from this. Okay, let me just type. I think that was look nice. Okay, so we had question 1, and as many questions as you have, please don't have more than 5 final questions. Okay, we are not here to solve all the questions in the world. Please leave some for us to come and also solve at the end of the day. Okay, so your final 5. You could have more, but it doesn't make sense. You are just a master or PhD student, not a professor. Okay, so we realized that after we have the 5 final questions, which is going to drive our research, we had some of them looking quite similar, or we can put them in groups, right? So let's say that we have group 1, group 2, and let's say group 3, okay? We realized that under group 1, which is like a general category of questioning, we have question 1 and let's say question 5, okay? We can group question 1 and question 5 in a group, and we call that group, let's say, technology. That's the title of that group, technology question, sorry. Then we can also move to group 2 and then say that maybe it's only question 3 that falls here. And then we can move to group 3 and say question 4, or you realize that this is what is going on. Question 2 and question 4 are under these groupings. You have 5 groups, or you have a certain number of questions. Final, you are going to show it to your teacher. But before you show it to your supervisor, or before you move on to the next stage, group the questions as much as possible. Find some connection between the questions and then group them. In this case, I have 3 groups, right? And group 1, let's say, is technology group. Group 2 is algorithm group. Let's say group 3 is efficiency group. Okay. And the questions under that, always the theme is like efficiency. You can use ChatGPT to do this one also. I think now when I say it, I have to say whether you can use ChatGPT or not. You can use ChatGPT to do this, but I think you can also see through your questions and then try and group them. If you can't see, let the AI help you, okay? So we've had these groupings. It's very important to do this, okay? So you now take group 1. This is how you do your research, your literature search, right? We are doing literature search now. Take group 1, okay? Maybe it's technology questions under the topic, right? So you just put this in a certain place. I'll show you very soon. And say, what are the technology questions on, let's say, machine learning? Okay. Use the group name or the group classification that you give it, and then use it to search for the literature. So you can go to Web of Science. Web of Science, for those of us that have institutional access or not, you can still use Web of Science. Just that if you have institutional access, you can download some papers. If not, you have to find other means to download the paper. Okay, so now we want to find the literature. And I'll not talk so much about this because we've talked about it before. So you can go to Web of Science or Web of Knowledge, same place. Put in that question. So technology questions and energy efficiency, something like that. See what will come up. Just this one, you are testing the waters. See what will come up and see if there's something in there that perhaps a question you forgot to ask. This is not ChatGPT. This is Web of Science. This is a hub where you can find papers. Okay. So put in that particular classification or group of the question there. Okay. And you can do the same for group 2 and do the same for group 3. If you see that there's a paper that triggers a certain question, quickly put it back, put it in there, then you have maybe now, let's say 10 more questions or 5 more questions. Okay, so we are trying to add or make sure that we have updated questions in our final list. It was your final, but after just putting in that keyword, you realized, hey, there are some questions I didn't ask. Okay, so this is just a quick check. Then now, after you do that, you have now your final number of questions. Then now you take question 1 and then drop it into Web of Science, Scopus, and then you can use Mendeley also. Mendeley. And then the final one, which is the one I'll demonstrate today, is typeset.io. I think I've done this before, but for those in China, you need VPN, by the way, and it's paid. But I think every day you can use up to 10 searches. Okay, so typeset.io or SciSpace as it's originally called, put in that question there. Okay, question 1, put it there. So let's put our question 1 there. So you can log in, but I don't want to log in. So what was the question someone asked? What is the relationship? That's the 2 questions that I can't remember. What's the relationship between, if you have the paid version, it's better. Oh, you can't see my screen. Oh, sorry. So I'm resharing. Please confirm if you can see now. Can you see the SciSpace screen? Okay, so what's the relationship between, let's say, one variable versus the other? So we said bee fly algorithm and was it energy efficiency? Energy efficiency, something like this. Just our question 1, for example. Okay, so with SciSpace, it looks out for the question you've asked it, and then to look for 5 top papers concerning that question. So whatever answer scheme is giving you, it's based entirely on the question you have asked. I don't know if that's clear. You are not asking anything about AI, machine learning. You have no business. It's directly giving the answer to your question. And that is your research. You are not doing everything about AI. You are doing a particular thing about AI. So if this is your question, why are you downloading other papers that you have no business with? So if you don't like reading, please follow the question approach. Don't worry yourself downloading 100 papers. Like seriously, you have time to read 100 papers? I need your grace, please. If you have this, show me how you do it. Okay, let's read strategically and not, somebody will say, I hate research because you always read. Because you are reading nonsense. You are reading things that it's not necessary to you. It's not necessary to your work. There are some papers you must never read. You should not even come across it because it will discourage you your whole life of the PhD or masters. You don't need them. Because simply they are poorly written. Some don't, they have nothing to do with you. So please don't go and be reading. This may be a bad example, but the Christians say the Bible is enough. They'll be reading things outside the Bible. It's not necessary. Well, it is necessary to you if you want extra knowledge, but Bible is enough. So please, this is our Bible. According to this question, this is our Bible. Top 5 is okay. Don't go and do any other I know things, please. If you feel you want to do more, you can go up here and then increase it to 10. But know that you have to pay. So 5 is enough. Please, let's not complicate the research. It's very nice. Research is very nice. It's enjoyable. If you don't know how to do it, then you are frustrated. I'm telling you, research is one of the easiest things you can do. You should enjoy your research. Okay, doing a master's or PhD should be enjoyable. This part of it should be enjoyable. The other part where you go to the lab where you feel that part is not enjoyable. But this part of writing, you should enjoy it. It should be easy for you. Ask the question. This is the answer. It's there. I told you the answers are already there. You don't need to think. These are the answers. Okay. So top 5 papers. And usually to give you very updated ones. So if you feel you want more, then you can go maybe 5 to 10 years ahead. So according to the question, let's see what comes up. I'm just looking at the papers, the title. So nature-inspired optimized artificial bee colony for decision-making energy efficient system. It sounds good. It sounds good, okay? And it's directed to the question I asked it. The reason why I'm suggesting the typeset IO is that if you are lazy or you feel lazy or you're tired, you can add more columns to here, okay? So you just go add columns. You can ask, what are the conclusions of this paper? And it will give you, what is the result? That's if you are interested in one particular part of the paper. So you can keep adding until you are tired. Aside that, there is also a place where you can chat with the PDF, okay? So according to here, you click the PDF and then you can also ask specific questions. I think it's at the top here, chat with the PDF. That's if you have the PDF, you can upload it and then ask questions, specific questions from that PDF because you don't want to read the whole paper. You are too busy. Okay. So it gives you 5 answers or 5 proofs for your question. The question you asked here, what's the relationship between bee fly algorithm? And that's it. You are done with the literature review concerning this question. Only 5. Please, ER Sansu, not plenty. And you are not reading all, everything is here inside. Just read it. Okay, the paper discusses the optimized. Okay, it's related to what I want. Then you download it. If it's not, you move on. It says top 5, and it gives you a summary here, right at the top. So the summary here is all about the top 5. If you want more papers, then you can keep scrolling and keep scrolling because you want to make your work difficult. But if you don't want to make your work difficult, just look at whatever it says here. And this is the answer to question 1. Full stop. Okay. Same thing. Do for question 2. Full stop. Question 3. Full stop. Question 4. Full stop. And question 5. Full stop. You are done. So 5 times 5 is 25 references. And that is your literature review. A well-structured, easy-to-go literature review. It can be done within 1 hour because the answers are there if you ask the right questions. of course, the answers are also there if you ask the wrong questions. Okay, so this is one way using typeset.io. If you use Mendeley and the other ones also similar, but they don't give you summarized and all these things. So this is the only advantage of SciSpace. It gives you the paper, and if the paper is open source, it will tell you can download it. If it's not, then you can you can copy the title and go into other places to find this particular paper, ResearchGate and all the other things we discussed before, just to find the paper. Okay, but aside that, it summarizes everything from the top 5 papers concerning your question. Question 1, 5 papers. Question 2, 5 papers. Question 3, 5 papers. Question 4, 5 papers. Question 5, 5 papers. Within 1 hour, you are done. Okay, so literature review. No one should text me, how do you do literature review? Please, this is how you do it. I've shown it now here. This is how you do it. If you want literature review, come with the questions and we'll do it one by one. If you don't have questions, don't inbox me, please. I have no business with you if you don't have questions. What is literature review? This is literature review. It's finding the answers to your questions. So if you don't have questions, don't text me. I'm not a magician. I don't find papers for literature, I don't find answers to questions that don't exist. So please make sure you have your 10, 5 questions. Okay, so I think somebody here is not happy with what I'm saying. So I lost my network again. Okay, so now who is the host? All those I co-hosted are supposed to be logged out.
You are still the host.
Oh, I'm still the host. Oh, thank God. All right. So is it still recording? Yes, recording. Let me reshare my screen. So please, if you are offended, sorry. Please let me just end my lesson so you can remove me after. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes.
So this yes is very weak. Please don't be discouraged. I'm just correcting an error I've seen so many times. I'm tired of seeing it. Okay, that's why I'm a bit passionate about this. So research questions correctly done, I'm happy with you. This is how to get the answers. Top 5 is free paid version, free and paid version. So the free gives you 10 questions per day, 10 searches per day. So every day, just take 1 question, then look for the answer. Okay, and it's very, very efficient. If you want to do the second step, use Mendeley or use Web of Science. Okay, so I'll use Web of Science here. Now we want to check how much papers really come out from each question. Okay, now we have papers, okay, 5, 5, 5 for each question, at least 5. But now we want to see the whole literature together, okay? In this case, question 1, how much has it been explored? Okay, question 2, how much has it been explored? Am I really asking a new question, or this question, nobody likes it? Or yeah, we want to now see a step further. Yes, 5, easily you can get, but how much is much or how more is more? So we want to see on question 1, what work has been done? What's the load of work that has been done on question 1, right? So you take question 1 and go to Mendeley. Take question 1 and go to Scopus. Take question 1 and go to Web of Science. So I'll just choose any of them, okay? Perhaps Web of Science is okay. So let me copy mine. And then I go to Web of Science. Okay. I think Web of Science is, it has a feature where you can use to check easily. So I'll use that one. Hopefully it uploads fast. In the meantime, if there's any question while the thing is loading, you can ask concerning topic, hypothesis, keyword, questioning, literature search. We are doing the literature search now. In the meantime, whilst I'm setting this up, you can ask questions so that we don't, this is not what I'm asking, please. You can ask questions, please. Let's ask the questions now. Let's not wait to the end.
So I want to ask, so the question, your question should answer, let's say, the keywords should answer your research. And how do I put this question? The questions you ask should answer your objectives. Should it be like dependent on your objectives? The questions you are asking, the research questions, should be questions based on your objectives, or you get your objective.
We've not gotten objectives at this stage. The research is as new as it is on my screen. We only have a topic, we only have keywords, we have hypothesis, we have questions, and now we are looking for, there's no aims and objectives. I've not said anything concerning that. We don't have those yet. We just have a topic. As basic as it always comes from a supervisor, we don't have anything except the topic. Okay, so let's not jump ahead. So we are only asking questions based on the topic, not anything else. And the answers you are looking for is just answering those questions.
Okay. And then the groupings should be based on the keywords of your topic. Is that it? I want to get that right.
The grouping should be based on the similarity of the question. Okay, so the topic is defining a Chinese man. Okay, the question 1 was, what's the color of a Chinese man? Question 2 is, what's the height of a Chinese man? Question 3 is, what does a Chinese man eat? Question 4 is, so from here you can say the height and the color can go into one category, like let's say biomarker or physical appearance. So the title is physical appearance of a Chinese man. And these 2 questions fall there. And then the third question, what does a Chinese man eat? It falls under maybe the culture of a Chinese man.
And this is all based on the study of a Chinese man. Let's say your topic is the study of the Chinese man.
The study of a Chinese man. The first grouping is physical appearance of a Chinese, or physical characteristics of a Chinese man, skin color, height, all those things. Either you can come to culture, food, dressing, either you can come to belief system or something. And these questions, you are now regrouping your research questions under these groupings.
But in essence, these groups may not necessarily appear in your title. It will just be, let's say, your title is the study of the Chinese man. It doesn't necessarily have to be the study of the culture and physical appearance of the Chinese man.
No. Yes, it's as basic as the study of a Chinese man. And then the groupings is just based on the similarity of the questions.
Okay, I think I get it. Thank you.
For some reason, I can't just sign into my Web of Science page, which is quite strange. Okay, it looks like there are a lot of angry people on the call. They just don't want to, they don't want me to show this part. I'm just joking. Anyway, so Web of Science is okay. If it works, I'll continue. If it doesn't work, I'll also continue. It doesn't exist. Wow, my page does not exist. Okay, let me try Mendeley. So Mendeley.com.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to find out, some papers are paywalled. And
Yes.
so for SciSpace, they are, how do they access all papers, or all the papers that they access to give you the return of your question are mostly free access papers? And if it's free access papers, does it mean it limits your literature review, or it's not a problem at all?
So it gives you the content of the paper, both paid and unpaid. How they do that, I have no idea. However, if you want to download the paper, then you cannot download it from SciSpace. You have to use another route to download the paper. But the content of the paper, in terms of the abstract, the conclusion, it can't give you. It will give you whether it's paid or not. So I don't know if they have some relationship with but however they do it, but most likely they will bring up the open access first, and then also you see, anytime you see request PDF, then it means that they don't have full access. So if you want to download that paper, then they cannot help you, right? But the content of that paper, they will help you with it.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. So
I also have a question.
yes, go ahead.
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Yeah. Also on the science space, like the top 5 papers that they give you, right? Like how do they rank them? Like, is it according to the time they were published or the impact factor of the journal they were published in, or like the citation number or something? Like, how do they rank them? Like, are they really the top 5 papers because they are the most recent ones, or I didn't get that part.
Okay, so if I tell you I know the answer, I'm lying. I don't know how they rank it, but what I have observed is they give the latest, the recently published papers on that topic. But yeah, that's all I can say. They give the most recent papers published on that topic. I don't know if they go further by looking at the keywords, or that one I cannot say it. I have no idea. Yeah.
So like there's no other way maybe that you can rank the paper, like since maybe here you're saying they rank according to the time or the year of publication, right? So is there a way maybe that I can try to manipulate it so that maybe it can give me the papers according like to the citation numbers or according to the journals that the papers were published in, or like
so
one can
yeah. You can do that for the papers that come up in the below section, if you can still see my screen. But for
I can.
the summary you have no control over it. Okay, the only thing you can customize is give me 5 papers or 10 papers. But when you come down, it gives you more filters that you can use. And you can sort it by citation count, how many papers have cited that paper, and then the newest first, the oldest first in terms of rank. And then you have relevance. So the default is how relevant it is to your topic.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This for the papers that show after, but for the summary, I don't know how the AI does it.
So even for the premium version, it's still the same. Like you
Still the
cannot.
same.
I see.
You cannot control this part. It's only this part you can control. So if the summary is not enough, you can still go one by one and check which paper you want. So you can see here it says PDF. So it means this is open access. But if it's not PDF, it will say request access. However, it gives you what the content of the paper is.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So let's use Mendeley for now. I don't know if... Okay, let's use Mendeley for now. So I'm putting the same question, that same question 1 here. I'm searching. Same for Scopus, you can also do that. So you realize that there are only 2 papers in Mendeley database concerning question 1. The same question that we asked, size space. Okay, in Mendeley, it only gives me 2. So what is happening here? It just shows you that in this particular field, not a lot of work is going on. Even if you look at the titles that it's giving you, it is giving you about honeybee production, which is not entirely what we are doing here. So if you ask this question, it means that know that you don't have a lot of references coming in here in terms of the workload or what people have done concerning, or what people have done to answer this particular question is almost 0. So this gives you a true picture of what is going on in the whole field, right? SciSpace has its own way of stringing things, like it will take relationship and give you papers about relationship, or it will take B and give you and all that. So it will try as much as possible, give you the top 5. But when you come to things like Mendeley or Web of Science, then you see the true import of what is going on. You can get a scan of the whole field concerning this particular topic. So let's say, I don't want to waste more time. So let's say you've done all the question 1, question 2, question 3, right? Now we want to analyze further the status of each question within the field. So let's go back to our whiteboard. where we had the question 1, question 2, question 3. Oh, it's gone. Okay, so okay, I missed that because okay, so we had question 1, question 2, question 3. We've done our grouping, so I'll not really do that again, or let me just do it again. Okay, question 1, maybe it has 1,000 papers, 1,000 plus. Question 2 had, let's say, 500 papers. Okay. Question 3 had just 10 papers. Question 4 had 5 papers. You've had your summary from typeset.io, but now you want to see the real thing going on. Go to Mendeley, go to Scopus, and go to Web of Science. You will get these numbers from there. Unfortunately, my Web of Science is not working, but Mendeley also works, okay? And Scopus also gives you a similar count. You see at the top, 1,000 or 16,000 papers concerning this. So you see that a lot of people have done something similar or have used this word in their paper or something, right? Then it means that you also going to do question 1. It's not really novelty. Do you agree? Please, does anyone agree on the call that you going to answer question 1 again is not, or do your whole experiment based on question 1? Then the panel will be looking at, okay, so is this what you use your 3 years for? To answer question 1, when there are over 1,000 papers on it, what new thing are you coming to tell us, right? So logically, which of these questions should we answer? Please, can anyone tell me?
Question 4.
Question 4 or question 3, right? Or maybe question 2. So you realize that your novelty is like this. Your novelty, oh no, I think it's the other way around. Okay. So your novelty goes this way. The less papers you find, the more novel your work is. The less papers you find, the more novel your work is. The less papers you find answering the questions you asked, the more novel your research will be. Remember, all questions have been answered. All answers are there for even questions that have not been asked. But if you ask a question from a new perspective, you realize that that is the key quality of a good researcher. And that's why you are not finding the papers that you want to find, because we are waiting for your paper to be published. So whoever I tell is on this call, increase the question 4 literature to 6 once your paper is published. And that's why you are doing the work, or once your thesis has been done. This is what we call novelty. You can look at question 1 and bring up some novelty and say that, okay, the definition of this should be this, based on all the 1,000 papers. I think this is a new definition. That's a little bit of novelty, but we don't want that. Okay. Question 2, you can come and say that, okay, 300 of the papers say that there is a strong relation between A and B, and 200 say that there is a weak relation. The majority wins. So from now, no more debate on this topic. Majority wins. That's your novelty in that perspective. And that's for the systematic review guys and all the other reviews you want to do. Okay. But question 3, you can't do a literature review here. You can't do a systematic review here. Like you write a paper only on 10 papers. No. So here is where your novelty comes in. What are you bringing on board to the whole entire research that you are trying to ask? So it means your question is a relevant question to ask. So your relevance also comes from here. Significance also comes from here. So in case you prepared a PPT and all you said they didn't understand, and the teacher asks you, what's the relevance of your work? Just scroll back. Scroll back. Just do next, or back. And on that slide where you showed this, it's so clear. Don't talk plenty. Laoshe, you know, this one, I've done this. Oh, no. You don't need to tell us what you have done. Just from your questioning, we see the novelty. You've not done anything. You've not gone to the lab. You've not done any survey. You asked a good question, and this is your novelty. Whether you're able to answer it or not, that one is up to you, your time of the PhD or your research time, and whether you have the resources. But at the questioning stage, your novelty should be shining at you. Your relevance should be shining at you. Your significance should be there. Don't need to struggle. Innovation points, they are all here. And this slide should be, if I'm on your panel, please, none of you should pray that I'm on your panel. But if I am on your panel, after 5 minutes, if I don't see this, as polite as I am, I'll just mark you, come back next year. Because anything you say after, you have done literature review, you still didn't show me your significance. You have done results. I just know that you fabricated the results. You wasted your time. Please come back next year and we'll give you the PhD or master's. It's as simple as that. You wasted your time. We are sorry, but no. You didn't do any relevant work. You didn't do any significant work. You didn't do any novel work. You just wasted your time collecting ChatGPT answers and literature. It's a new skill you've got, but that's not enough for a master's degree or a PhD degree. We are sorry.
I have a question, please.
Go ahead.
So do you still maintain your question 1, 2, 3, or at least do you still maintain your question 1 and 2, but you answer question 4 into details, or how exactly do you go about that, please?
Okay. Once you understand this, then I can move on how to answer question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 4. Is this part clear? That we need to have this check of the literature. If it's clear, then I can move on. How to answer, how to tackle question 1, how to tackle question 2, 3, and 4. Because they are all important to your work. If you come to me as a supervisor and tell me, Daoshi, after all your research, there are only 10 papers and 5 papers, I'll tell you 1, it's because the field is not useful. That's why people have stopped doing it. Or 2, it's a growing field. And if you're a master's student, please don't tackle it. It may waste your time. Leave it for the PhD guys who decide to invest their time into developing something quite novel. Okay, so it could be 10 and 5 because it's really a thing that came up. Like ChatGPT just came out, everybody is just, and then it just stops somewhere because it's not really important or it's actually growing. So for each type of question, I'll tell you how to address it in the literature review. So if that is clear, I'll move on. Okay, so we have question 1. Okay, so question 1, how can you say or talk about question 1 in your literature? So let's go back to our groupings. Remember, we had some groupings. So let's say question 1 and 3 is group 1. Okay, let's say it's technology or physical characteristics of a Chinese man. Yes, so this is the physical characteristics of a Chinese man. So when you start your literature, this is what you just do. You go here. Literature review is the second part of your work. So 2 dots, you write literature review. This is how your literature review is going to look like. 2 dots or 2.0. This is literature review or related works. I'll share the template later because time is gone. Then you come to 2.1. What is 2.1? 2.1 is group 1. That's the heading of your 2.1. Physical characteristics of a Chinese man. This is your 2.1 in your literature review. Now you answer question 1. What did question 1 say? What is the size or what's the color of a Chinese man? That's the question from this one. Then you say height or biomarkers are a key way of describing, this is just like an opening statement, of describing a population or a race. Okay. According to, I'm just giving an example. According to Chong et al. 2023, this is coming from the typeset space or wherever you got the paper from. answering question 1, right? Chinese population are generally yellow skinned. In some rare cases, you find a black Chinese, and then you cite it. Akosia et al. Okay, it's black because Akosia. Akosia et al. 2019. You do for the 5 papers. Okay. Another study shows that the dependence of the skin color to temperature and humidity. This is what interdisciplinary research. So now you're moving into weather conditions. According to temperature and humidity conditions, shows that the dependence on are strongly related. In warmer parts, you will be darker. Something like this. This is the 3rd reference that you had concerning this topic. A et al, comma B et al. Okay. 2019, 2019, whatever. These are 4 papers that have tried to answer question 1. Then you go to question 2. What was the question 2? The height, right? So you say something about height. Height is strongly correlated. Forget my typos at this moment. Correlated to the, what can we say? The wealth of the family line. Farmers usually in the south, this is true. So the southern parts of China tend to be short to medium height. This is supported by the argument of, I don't know if ChatGPT can write this good, by the argument of Lee et al. 1998. So this is question 2 answer. It has 5. Then you continue in that way. Then when you are done, you go to 2.2. 2.2 is group 2's questions, right? Group 2 also has its own questions and the answers. You already have them. So you arrange it in this way. You arrange it from the most cited, or you start from the 1,000. That'll be your group 1. The 1,000, and like I mean, in terms of those that have more numbers, you group them into group 1 and group 2. And then after you've done all that, let's say 2.3, you come to the novelty part, right? Don't name it novelty, but whatever they are, novelty part. Then you say that despite not 10% doing this for work, by the time it's already up. Despite the large data in the past decade, the real classifiers of Chinese population still remain unclear. Okay, so you say that according to study of this and according to study of this is what they've said so far concerning the novelty part. But you said that despite all the things I've said group 1, group 2, group 3, or group 4, whatever, there's still something that needs to be done to further extend the research. So you can cite A et al. 2019 attempted to use the tone classifier or speech tone or something. At this point in my English, it's not English. The speech tone classifier, like to classify the Chinese. However, here you expose more of the work. However, the work was not conclusive. Because the algorithm mostly said Tim Bodon. Okay, so it could not classify it because after they speak, it says Tim Bodon. So you are just saying that even though people have done the work in the 10 papers, the 5 papers, they've tried, but they are waiting for you, the star, to come and solve the issue. They've tried, they've done something about it, but it's not there yet. So your work is relevant because you are going to solve that particular problem well. So the papers that have, the question that have a lot of references, you can redefine some things there, bring a consensus. Some people say it's A, some people say it's B. You say, no, it's C because of this. Or the A people are right and the B people are right. If it's, there's still a large number, you can still do a systematic review on it. That's also another discussion. But after you say all those things, you have your 555, then you come to the part where it's lacking, and then you expose those few papers, because now they are your competitors. They've tried something to answer your question, but they couldn't answer it fully, right? So you try and poke some errors in their work or try and show, okay, they did it 70%. I'm going to increase the algorithm performance to, let's say, 90%, right? So, and the novelty part, this is how you tackle it. Okay, so out of the 5 papers that have been done, yes, they've done well, but they tackle the question wrongly. So I'm come to tackle it right. Please give me the money. So this is how your literature review is: 2.1 group 1, 2.2 group 2, 2.3 group 3. But the last part of your literature review should tackle the novelty questions, expose the errors or the gaps or the limitations of what have been done so far. So for example, ChatGPT, I've told you what it can be done. 2.1, structure. 2.2, questioning. 2.3, which is the novelty part, it cannot answer academic questions. So my new model, ChatYPG, is going to answer the academic questions well. So you acknowledge what people have done, but you try and make their work not look so nice. Don't insult them, but try and cripple them a bit, and then you make your work, push yourself higher than them. So this is how you do it. And your literature review is done. It's not it's not complicated. This is as simple as it is. If you've had any other discussion somewhere and that's why you're on this call, it's as simple as this. Everyone does it differently. Everyone writes their paper differently. But this is the easy to go way. Don't doubt it, just try it. I'm not marketing here. If you try it for 1 week, it doesn't work, call me. And if it's not working for you, it means you've asked the wrong questions. It will work. It always work. It must work, and it is working. So please, any question on literature review, you are done. There's nothing else to say about literature review. This is how simple it is. You are looking for answers to questions, and this is how you structure it. The questions have been grouped because of their similarity, and that same grouping is what you are using here. It's copy and paste. The answers are already there. Any question? Else
Yes, please.
Good. Ask your questions.
Your research look a little biased, as in it's, let's say if it's answering the novelty part is your question, let's say group question 5 is where is, but then doesn't it mean your research is being biased towards like question 5 more? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. As in, won't it be like now your research is more dependent, it's just answering question 5 more, where it should be probably addressing the topic as a whole. Please
Yes.
do you get what I'm trying to?
Yes, you have asked questions that your forefathers have asked. There's no need to waste time there. Yes, you can talk about it. Like I said, A said this, B said it concerning that particular topic. But there are too many answers for you to now go there and come and say, you can give a quick summary about the whole question 1 answers. It's not biased. You are only doing a novelty thing. Question 1, you check. Unfortunately, people have done it. No problem. However, question 1 is what we call your theoretical foundation. You are not biased.
Okay.
You are just giving enough proof that this question is important. Question 2, you are also giving another proof that the foundation or the pillars of your work, it's feasible. However, there's a part of your work that you are going to solve. There are 5 questions you asked. 3 of them is supporting your work, and 2 of them is just at the top. And that's where your shining is. It's not about being biased. You're only telling us how novel your work is. Of course, 2.1, you can go deeper and say, okay, this one did it right, this one did it wrong. But it's not important unless you are doing a systematic review where you just take question 1 and break it down paper by paper, right? But it's not really necessary to do that, because you are just trying to tell us that when I go to do the survey, I'll just confirm question 1, reconfirm question 2, reconfirm question 3. But when it comes to question 4 and question 5, the answers I will get there is new.
Okay.
You are not being biased. You will check all question 1 to question 5, but it's just reconfirming. So if you go and check question 1 and according to all the 1,000 papers, everyone say yes, and your question 1 answer from your study says no, then you comment about it in your results and discussion. Okay, guys, you all say Chinese men are short, but I met this tall guy. Can we look at this in a further study? That's to answer question 1's discrepancy. Question 2, oh, I met a green-looking Chinese. What is happening here? You can talk about this in your results and discussion. Okay, in my next study, I'll look into this. The person said, if you eat only green leaves, you become green. You leave it there. It's not really the focus of your work, but you put in there. But when it comes to 2.3, the answers that people will give you, you can't find it in literature. That's the novelty of your work. And then you go deeper to discuss why your work is really important. These are the new results. Please, everybody read my work, blah, blah, blah. You see all those things there. Question 1 to 5, you will have answers to this in your research. But they will either confirm or oppose what is generally known. But when it comes to the last part of your work, which is novelty, we don't have anything to really compare with. And that's why you are there.
And so the bulk of your literature review should be based on 2.3, or should it be like based on the other, since you have more papers available? Which one do you think it should
2.1,
be?
2.2, you have the literature there, right? You can cite the key ones and then just give a general overview of that area, right? That's what you have for 2.1 and 2.2, because there's a lot of work done there. Don't really need to explain much. But when it comes to discussing your literature, you now talk about 2.3. So question 3, which is under 2.3, you talk detailed into each paper, because there are a few of them, just 5 or 10. So according to paper 1, what did he say? You analyze it critically. So your review actually is under 2.3, where you go deeper and expose all the things. But 2.1 and 2.3, you can give it to the summary of typeset that I will put it here. It's easy that way. 2.1, 2.2, typeset.io is good for you. But 2.3, as much as possible, download the paper, read it, spend more time on it. It may just be 15 papers. You're not reading 1 million papers, just 15 papers. And your whole study work is based, and your discussion, or when you say you did a literature review, is based on 2.3, because that's where you actually read the papers. This is the part you really read to see what you can expose and then what you cannot expose, because that's your novelty. If this part is not also done right, then we don't see your novelty clearly.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we may have to do a part 2 of this, but I'll try and end within the next 10 minutes. Sorry for the delay. Any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for this presentation, wonderful work. And I was late, by the way. And my question is about the this part you highlight about the literature review. Can it be done by the AI? Like, is it possible for the AI like to perform a good literature review?
Good, better, best. May I never rest until my good is better and my better best. Do you know that particular rhyme? AI can do a good work, but you can do a better and a best work. That's my answer. It can be done. AI can be done. I'll show you the answer very soon. How does AI do? It's typeset.io. It's AI. Okay. I'm sharing my screen again. So you see that AI can do a good work. But doing a good work, it's good. It's enough. No problem. But is it the best? No.
Yeah.
So
That's
this is
right.
the AI. AI has done, this is a literature review for question 1. This is it. Beautifully done. Oh, you can't see my screen. Oh,
yeah, the screen is loading.
Oh, sorry. Let me try again. Screen share or screen. Can you see now?
It's loading.
My
We
network.
have to.
Okay, yeah, but AI can do a good literature review, yes, but we want the best literature review, and that's where you come in. Oh,
okay.
Mr. Bruce, you are worrying us. Reading is not easy. I know. It's not easy. So if you want to a quick fix, yes, typeset.io is there, but please don't let me see that work.
Okay.
Don't let me see that work. I don't want to see the work done by AI because you are more intelligent and capable than that AI.
Okay.
AI is to
That's
find
wonderful.
things. AI is to do redundant tasks. Redundant. Aside that, robot does redundant tasks. Don't leave the creative part of the work to the AI. You are more creative. Yes, and that's why you're a researcher. You are trying to get masters for that. Okay, so literature review, this is how it's done. Any question? We all have our topics. We can do the keywords. We can do the questioning. We can do the hypothesis. We do the groupings of the questions. We have our literature rating. Nice and easy. Within 1 week, you can finish this. So then I ask myself, why do we do a 3-year master and a 4-year PhD?
You have simulation.
Yes. So
Scheme
I've not gotten
design.
there yet. So I would want to stop here. We are only doing chapter 1, chapter 2. I don't want to rush this. We have to break this into parts. I promise to do referencing and all that, but I just want this to sink in. And as much as possible for those of you who are starting to write your proposal, I think this can engage you to the next time I'm free for another session. If not, there are no questions, then we can end here, but I'll leave the room for 2 or 3 more questions. Topic development, questioning, literature review. I'll send the templates, maybe not today. I want to finish everything and now the template will make sense. So for this session, pardon me, I'm not going to share any resource. I have one, but I'll not share it. It will make more sense after everything, where the whole structure of thesis is there or a proposal is there, but I can't share it so that it doesn't confuse you. Once we are done, I'll share that one. But topic development, you can use ChatGPT to do it. Your supervisor can help you. You can do it by yourself. You have the topic, develop more keywords, refined keywords. Get your questions, as many as possible, and download so many things you want to download, but make sure that you narrow them down to top 10 questions. These questions, you further group them because we will use them in the literature. Take the questions one by one, put them in typeset.io, put them in Mendeley, put them in Web of Science, put them in Scopus, any other database you are used to in your field. Go there and find. Typeset.io will give you something, but to get a scan of the field, use Web of Science to check how many papers or how much workload has been done concerning that thing. Scopus, Mendeley also, that's the same thing. You can also get the papers from there. You have all these papers, come back, your groupings, group one, what questions are under them, write a beautiful introduction, put your work, arguments there. This is where the creative part also comes in, beautifully written. It's not about English, it's about the thought process. If you are a French native speaker, write it in French. When you are done, translate it into English. If you can write Chinese, write it in Chinese. When you are done, translate it into English. What we want is at the end of the day, you have your thoughts on paper. Don't imagine the work. Write down the work. You've done that general idea of group one, general idea of group two. Come to your novelty part, poke different holes into people's work, show their limitations or why the work has not grown so fast. And then while you are looking at this particular 2 questions or 3 questions. For masters, 2, 3 questions is okay. For PhD, 5 novelty questions. Masters 2, 3 is okay. PhD 5 novelty questions. And there's another way you can also use to find a novelty question, but we are out of time. We'll treat that in the next session, where we use the gaps and the different types of gaps to find novelty. Any questions? You have 5 minutes to ask questions. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh, sorry. Yes, 5.
Hi,
Yes.
I have a question. So, for instance, 1 + 1 is 2, right? And then that's it. But then when you're writing research, they ask you to write 30,000 words. If I've been able to convey the entire research into like in 18K words, what do I do then?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I was distracted by someone's question in the chat. If you've written 18K,
I,
can you
I'm
just
saying if
yeah.
I am able to, I'm saying okay, so 1 + 1 is 2, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like there's no encomiums, nothing.
Mm.
Yeah. And so if I'm able to convey my research and everything in 18,000 words,
Yes.
but then now I'm asked to do it in 30,000 words. Now, what do I do?
Okay, so it's as simple as that. Just go back to your questions and ask more questions. You asked 3 questions, it gave you 18,000. Now make it 50,000. You have to ask more questions. If you want to go higher, go deeper. Do you know that kind of principle for the construction people here? Okay, you want to do a foundation for a 10-story building. There's a limit you go, but if you now want to build a skyscraper, go deeper. So ask more questions. The questions are your foundation. It's as simple as that. If you ask more questions, you get more content. There's no magic to it. Okay, someone is asking how many papers have I published? I don't believe in the number of papers just writing. If I want to write a paper every week, I can. However, if you want valuable research, it takes time. This is just about writing. The writing part is easy. But like someone said, you have simulations to do, you have experiments to do. That part is not easy. So it can take 5 years just to realize that the reason why your code is not working is just a full stop. Yes, that part is not easy. So I'm not here to brag, but if it's about writing papers, it's very easy. The writing part is easy, but do you have the results to show? I'm just encouraging you by saying it's easy because it's easy. You can do it. Conceptualizing the idea and writing it should be the easiest part. If you also make this part easy, then the whole research is difficult. Okay, and writing is just to communicate what you have done. Okay. Yeah. If you write 10 papers, you write 20 papers. that really doesn't matter at a certain point until you are at the point of publish or perish. 2 more questions and I'm done. 2 more questions. 2 more questions.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I missed like part from the session. So if it's recorded, from where I can like watch it again or re-watch it again.
How did you hear about this meeting?
From a friend.
From a friend. So wherever you heard it from, go and ask that person. The person will give you the video because we have a page. So I will put it on that page. So if you are not on that page, you can let your friend add you to that page and then you have access to the video. I'm only sharing it on the page.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. One more question, I'm done. One more. One more. It's late. One more. Okay, in the absence of no question, thank you all very much for attending the session. Look out for the part 2 of this. See you all and have a nice time. Bye-bye.